Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You won't believe just how much XRP is dominating the crypto space. Or maybe you're aware of the general idea if you're in the XRP community anyway, but wait till I show you the data that was put together by an XRP chart analyst. It's simply unbelievable, except for it's true. So I guess maybe you will believe it then after I show you, but it's effectively what's happening, and what's been happening the last several months or so is all of us in the XRP community being vindicated. And all of the types of things, including price action, major price action, that we always believed could happen and likely would happen, it's been unfolding. And it's just so cool that the best is still yet ahead. Including for this market cycle. I do not believe for a moment XRP has peaked this market cycle. And despite all of this, irrational, toxic Bitcoin maximalists continue to deny reality, so I'm going to have to address a little bit of that too in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, I'm going to share with you some charts and analysis from Dom. He is at TraderView2 on social media platform X. And I started following him at some point. It might have been early in 2024. I can't remember, but he was one of the analysts that absolutely knocked it out of the park in a couple things, predicting accurately that XRP would be a coin that would break out this cycle and dramatically, and also noting a number of the reasons why, including that it had been consolidating in a symmetrical triangle for the better part of a decade, right? And so here are some facts and some charts that are going to illustrate just how unbelievably well XRP has been performing. And so here's a post from Dom. Many people continue to ignore the sheer outperformance XRP has shown against other major coins and the general market. Look through this thread, and I'm sure you'll even be surprised. How much longer will this last? And so here's the first one. So this is a chart showing XRP denominated in total. Total is the name of a chart that is the entire crypto asset class. So it's XRP denominated in the entire asset class. And here, it's XRP versus total is up 333% against the altcoin market since November. That is absolutely astonishing, just tremendously outperforming. This is the type of thing that we always believed was possible, but not just possible, probable. Like so many of us here have had strong conviction for years and years and years, and now the market's catching up. Wouldn't you know it? A coin that has utility, and it was clearly artificially suppressed because of nefarious government intervention by suing Ripple. As a result, it impacted the entire XRP global ecosystem in terms of price, attacking XRP holders. Well, of course, once the lawsuit goes away and then you enter a bull run where everything starts moving, of course, XRP would outperform. This is common sense thinking. And here you see it on your screen. This is just glorious. Then there is also this chart. XRP versus Ethereum up 533% since November. XRP's up 533% against Ethereum just since then. Oh man, just one of the added to the pile of reasons that so many in the Ethereum community are just so sour. They are at least as sour as the XRP community was throughout most of the last few years, frankly. And not that most XRP holders were sour necessarily. It's just that when price is low, you're going to get a certain percentage of people who just are having emotional struggles with that, and they are very vocal. So then if you hop on social media, it can feel as though everyone from the community is feeling that way, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. But either way, it's the same thing that's happening with the Ethereum folks now. And by the way, I think Ethereum is going to do well this cycle, but it's not going to outshine XRP. Here's another one, XRP versus Solana. Remember how Solana was God for a few years in the world of crypto? That's how people treated it anyway, the way they spoke about it. And that's fine. I have nothing against Solana. I'm not a maximalist. I happen to not own this one, but I can't own literally every coin in existence. Nothing against it. It's just so fascinating to see how Solana was just going to keep going up and up and up forever, and not that it can't go higher. I'm not even making that argument, but the idea of XRP outshining it a year ago, preposterous. Here we are, though. It's not like a small amount. 555%, folks. XRP versus Doge. And this one's wild. Up 758% against Doge since November. Folks, that one caught me by surprise. That percentage, like, I mean, yeah, I was like, oh, I'm sure it's doing better, but 758%? Holy freaking hell. That is buck wild. Here's XRP versus AVAX up 607% since November. That's a big one, too. XRP versus Chainlink up 279% since November. XRP versus XLM, which of course is a copycat of XRP, up 256% since November. You have XRP versus SWI up 432% since November. You know, actually, by the way, let me say this too. I actually would have guessed that percentage for XRP versus XLM would have been a little bit smaller since they trade in tandem. And so as far as the timing, a lot of the big moves, they did correlate. But if I had to, before seeing this data, if I had to pick a percentage, I don't think I would have set a percentage that high. I'm not sure what I would have guessed, but certainly not that. So anyway, so yeah, against SWI up 432%, and then XRP versus Uniswap up 488% since November. So pretty wild numbers, right? For the coin that was supposed to die and fall out of the top 10 and all that crap. Pretty wild, huh? And so then Dom wrapped up his thread by saying, monitoring these are important because of the strong trends we have seen since November. Seeing multiple pairs breaking this trend will be a significant shift where rotations are even taking profit might make sense. XRP has been one of the best assets to hold since then. Yeah, so at some point, XRP is going to hit a peak for the cycle, and we do need to be careful about this. You don't want your head in the sand about this. I know that the idea of selling XRP, it's going to piss off some people, in particular if they're not ready to sell. But we got to talk about it. If there are clear signs that, hey, it looks like XRP's peaking for the cycle, there's going to be some rotation. This might be a good, like, we're going to talk about that. But for me, that's still like the most exciting thing because I've been waiting over 7 years for this. And I know so many of you have been waiting a long ass time as well. Now, despite all this, despite the fact that we've been vindicated, we've been putting up with some crap over the years. Do you remember this headline from April of last year? Forbes lists XRP, Cardano, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic among top zombie tokens. And so this is the crypto briefing, crypto media outlet, covering a Forbes story in which they were just ripping on XRP and other coins, talking about how they're zombie chains, they're useless, and nothing's gonna happen, and so on. You get the narrative, right? We've seen this. It's just, there are all sorts of people that do have XRP derangement syndrome. There are all sorts of people that have toxic Bitcoin maximalism in their blood, and that's what was going on here. That was it. And so I shredded the whole concept a year ago. And obviously, we're clearly vindicated. And not just this, but utility has been increasing, so on and so forth. But you're always going to see people who are just so tribal and so happy to spew all sorts of crap that's just clearly not grounded in reality, showing just a disgusting, unreasonable bias. Like I understand we're all going to have bias, but you can cross a line to where you're now in a delusional world, where you're now tribal to the degree that people just aren't going to like you. Like, there is such a thing as going too far. You can have civil discourse, you can disagree, and yeah, we're all going to bias about certain things. Like, I'm obviously biased in favor of XRP, but I'm not so biased that I'm a maximalist. I hold 42 different cryptocurrencies. I'd love them all to do well. It just seems to me like a no-brainer approach to the world of crypto, right? But not everyone agrees. Here you have Laura Shin, who is a fairly well-known figure in the world of crypto. I'm not sure how many people are listening to her podcast these days. I can't imagine it's doing that well. But she still is a figure, and she's a name that some people know. And so she's still crapping all over XRP. She's been spending the last year doing this. Not last year, like the last decade doing this. The last decade. Crapping all over irrationally. Spouting lies about XRP explicitly to like hundreds of thousands of people. And she was doing some more of this crap again. And so she shared a video clip of this guy named Stephen Ehrlich, and they're both with Unchained. He's the executive editor over at Unchained, and he actually referenced that Forbes article that I just mentioned a second ago from April of last year. And he used that as some sort of piece of evidence that XRP is a zombie chain and not useful. And he said it after what has happened the last several months. Explain how a human can be so devoid of thought, of actual reason, that they could know. I mean, just he has to, right? See the price performance, and then to say what he said here, and to point out that article as some sort of proof. Yeah, well, it doesn't even make sense that it exists. I'm Stephen Ehrlich. I'm with Unchained. No, Stephen, it doesn't make any damn sense. And so he said that XRP has, and this is a quote, little discernible use, end quote. That's a full quote, little discernible use. Now, you know who would dispute that is businesses and people who use it literally on a daily basis. And so, first of all, that's not true. But, second of all, even if it were true, then why do you love Bitcoin so much? It does just about nothing on layer 1. It does, like, seriously, just about nothing. So it has attributes that people like. Bitcoin does, sure. It has attributes people like, but almost no actual utility on layer 1. So if that's the metric, little discernible use, how can you look at me with a straight face and hold XRP to one standard and then not hold Bitcoin, your beloved coin, to the same standard? Why does it have a lower standard with you? And the answer is you're being intellectually dishonest. You're a toxic Bitcoin maximalist, and you're being intellectually dishonest. That's the real answer. That's what it is. But again, XRP does have actual utility, and if it didn't, then nobody would have been filing amicus briefs in the SEC v. Ripple case to support them. But all sorts of businesses that use XRP understood they could have been impacted if the ruling went off the rails, went the wrong way, and so they filed amicus briefs on their own dime. They paid their attorneys to write stuff up, and they sent it to Judge Torres. Real businesses really using XRP. Look it up, Stephen of Unchained. Why don't you do that? Now, of course, Laura Shin's thrilled about this video clip, and so she shared it on X, and she wrote, "What do Ripple and Cardano have in common? Stephen Ehrlich calls them crypto's billion-dollar zombies, change with no real adoption but enough money to keep going. Thus, why would we put them in a crypto reserve?" Now, of course, we already know, we got the news last night, that there is going to be a national stockpile, and Trump has made it pretty damn clear that XRP is going to be a part of that. So, look, I've already talked about that so much, I don't want that to be the thrust of this video. I didn't want to talk about that any further. I really don't, not for this video. But XRP is one of the most adopted cryptocurrencies in the history of mankind. That's a fact, and this human refuses to recognize that. And again, even if it were barely adopted, why don't you have the same standard for Bitcoin then? How come it gets to just not be adopted? The only reason that Bitcoin is number 1 in market cap is because it's the first one ever to exist. It's the first crypto. If that were created after better cryptos, then it never would have gone anywhere. It never would have. There's not something godlike about the code. Okay? It's one of many cryptocurrencies. It's purely because it was first. And the human species cares about standards. Since they like those attributes and it was the first with those attributes, it's just going up. That's fine, but let's not pretend it's fucking useful, because that's a stupid ass thing to say. It just isn't. You like the attributes, you hold that as a store of value, fine. It's the pet rock of crypto, which is what I wrote to her. And this didn't go well, by the way. So I wrote to Laura and I said, Bitcoin is the pet rock of crypto. What utility can Bitcoin offer that XRP can't? None. Do you feel embarrassed for conflating Ripple with XRP in 2025? Of course not, because you suffer from XRP derangement syndrome. And folks, she does. She suffers from the affliction known as XRP derangement syndrome. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. And so then she blocked me. She blocked me on X, and then I just blocked her back, because that's my policy. If somebody blocks me, I just block them back. I'll block back that little bitch ass. It is what it is. If this is what you're going to do, fine. You do you. But you're going to get called out for stuff like this. So there is this post from Santiago Velez, XRP community member. Brilliant guy, by the way. And here's what he said to Laura Shin. Because Laura Shin, mind you, she's been spewing this crap for a decade. Literally, that's what she's been doing. And so here's what Santiago said in response to this. This is the same thread that I responded to. And he said, "This is incredibly poor take, and here's why. It's insulting to the users of the XRP ledger, many of whom I personally know and or follow. We are on X. We are not bots, and this network is integral to our community. It's doubly insulting to the validators and software developers that build products on this network despite the toxic takes, regulatory attacks, and uneven distribution of token holdings. If you find yourself the target of disrespect by posting these bad takes continually without holding your guests accountable, you shouldn't be surprised that you might be considered a platform for the disrespect and thus directly accountable for it. You need to do better." That one gets a mother flipping golf clap right there. That's an excellent post. That gets me all amped up. That's a great post right there, for sure. And just to highlight that a little bit further here, the XRP Rich List website, look at the number of XRP wallets, over 6.2 million, but it's a zombie chain. Only in their stupid little toxic Bitcoin maxi world echo chamber can you have 6.2 million wallets on a chain and see how it just spikes up recently in the last several months or so. Only in their stupid little worlds of irrationality and non sequitur logic could you possibly state that despite all of that, XRP is a zombie chain. You have to be one of these idiot sticks in order to think something like that. It's truly astonishing. And so let's just now consider that video clip and this post from Laura Shen of Unchained to be placed into the Moon Lambo wood chipper, ideally to never be spoken of again. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.